Hey, this is Miseryless Company, a weekly social reading series hosted by miserytourism.com. Every Friday, we welcome outsider and transgressive writers to come and share their work with us. And what do you know? It's Friday again. So let's get rolling here. First up tonight is John.
Hello. Am I coming through all right?
Perfectly.
Okay. From the top of the hill, everything looks like a miniature, and all the passing cars look like you could kick them away. News helicopters whirl above our heads. You ever roll down hills when you were a kid? Of course. We had this big hill right outside the back door of our elementary school, and everybody would roll down it. You'd race. You and see who could roll down the fastest. You had to roll like a log, though, you know. There were recess ladies watching, and they said it was fine to roll down like a log, but you couldn't do somersaults down the hill. You'd get in trouble, but you didn't want to do it anyway because it'd hurt your neck. The sun just set. It's summertime in LA, and we're sitting on top of it. I can't remember the last time I scraped my knees. I want to roll down this hill. There's traffic at the bottom. Will you roll down this hill with me? I'll race you to the bottom. You think you'll win? I know I'll win. No one can roll like I do. I've been developing a technique. The traffic dies down. It's completely still at the top of the hill. The air floats in place. Let's take turns holding each other's heads in our hands. Your hair feels nice. It feels like mine. Wait, let's do it at the same time. Your head in my hands, my head in yours. I like your head. I like your head too. A police helicopter circles above our heads. A police helicopter goes down in a series of still images above our heads and, right on time, it strikes the pose you'd expect it to see and lights up rainbow neon. And when it does, applause. In between each snapshot, a Vaseline blur of general movement, and then right on time, every heartbeat flash, freeze, strike a pose, and it all lights up neon around it. You're burning up. You're on fire. And at 200 BPM, each flash burns a ghost into my eyes, and each flash could last forever, but it's already overwritten. Camera bulbs explode. Lined neon trace fireball against sky, each fragment bullet through window, black smoke, against black sky, snapped rotors hang like napalm trees. It would all last forever if it would all just stop for a moment. Do you have a warm heart? She asked, but she meant, do you have worms in your heart like I do? I've never been good at being romantic. My hands are really cold. I'm sorry, he said. It was a first date. It was an AA meeting, but they weren't alcoholics. It's fine. I like them. I'm overheating all the time. I like you. I like you too. Can I feel your hair? Only if I could feel yours too. And when I close my eyes, I still see flashing lights. On top of the hill, the houses sit at attention, pressed against the front lawns, and each story is stacked almost on top of each other, and the driveways run long way past the houses, back into the backyards. A long driveway with a gate deep set where the backyard begins. Run over here, let's pee on it. She's not wearing running shoes, she's wearing Frankenstein boots, and they smack the ground too hard to be sneaky, but it doesn't matter because I'm laughing too loudly at her. We get to the gate and pee on it and run back into the street, but the puddle follows us, streams to the storm drain. It's a race between us and gravity trying to soak our shoes. But we win, of course. We win. Of course we win. How could we lose? The only thing in the sky is the full moon and the tall 76 sign at eye level. You live in the valley. That must be terrible. Yeah, don't bring it up. I keep hearing of a land called Michigan. Do you know anything about it? Of course I do. I used to live there. And it's nothing like this place. Really? Tell me about it. Well, everything is very different, even from the words. For instance, like, you know how they say soda out here? We don't say that. We call them candy bubblers in Michigan, you know? Little things like that. Wow, sounds like a magical place. Yeah, it's like Candyland, but the roads are worse. A person like you would be killed on sight just for existing in a place like that. Everything is all orange streetlights. Up on top here, the people have money to keep the grass watered, and it makes you want to lay down in it. Hills like this feel impossible. To be able to walk to such a high spot feels like crossing a border. I should have seen a gate or at least a sign. Are you sure I'm here? This is going really well. This is the best. Tell me a story. Make it up. Hold my hands. But what if mine are sweaty? It's okay. I like your sweat. Don't worry. Give me your sweaty hands. I want them. Give me your slime. I love it. I need it. Take my clammy hands in yours. Let's mix it together. My sweat on your hands, your sweat on mine. And we'll have your 4 hands all sticky, wet, and gross. And I'll grab you by your face and we'll do each other's hair up, grease it back like Elvis. Greasy, sweaty, backs on the pavement, doing our best Elvis impressions. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And she never leaves my head. Picture her. Put her in your head for me. She has short, dark hair. It's impossibly thick. It pushes you back when you run your fingers through it. She's dressed in all black, Frankenchrist tank top, black jeans, big black boots tied in black lace. Her skin is pale with olive under it. She has arms you want to squeeze, biggest eyes you've ever seen. You wonder how they fit in her head. They're bigger than strawberries and they're dark like her hair. A single dimple on her right cheek, a curved nose you want to pinch off in your hands, run around with and laugh when she chases you around trying to get it back. And she has an underbite that turns her face into this beautiful curved thing. Pink lips set into cursive, top teeth peeking out. And it's a smile that makes you want to curl up in a blanket and giggle at night. And she's smiling that smile right now. And she's smiling that smile at you. And she's smiling at you because she loves you. The viewer watching the video, hold that picture in your head for me forever. I'm still here on top of this hill with you, watching the rest of LA get on with their Monday night. I'm still here with you. June 13th, 2022, and it's been a year from that night, and it will be years from that night. But that doesn't matter because these aren't words on a page. This isn't a memory. This is just what's happening. And we're still together holding hands on the hill, rolling down head over heels, playing with each other's hair on this high up road we never bothered to learn the name of. It's going really well. This is the best. It doesn't have to end. We could just live here. Military helicopters close in above our heads. You ever notice how they always play UB40 on the radios out here? I feel like since the moment I got here, all I hear is that one song. I don't really listen to the radio. Do they? Yeah, Bob FM. It's on all the time. I mean, it's a good song. It's just weird it's on so often. Can we listen to it? You want to? Yeah. Red wine. It's up to you. All I can do. I've done. Memories don't go. Red wine. Stay close to me. Don't let me be alone. It's tearing apart my blue heart. You know, in rehab, that's the one song alcoholics are allowed to listen to. Really? Is that true? Yes. If they want to listen to music, they are only allowed that one song. If the staff finds out they're listening to anything else, they're promptly shot and killed. Oh, is that true? Would I lie to you? I believe you 100%. Anything you say to me, I will believe. My mind is clay in your hands. I trust you. I have no reason not to. Every moment before and every moment from here on, every word you have said to me has been absolute gospel. There's no difference between passing cars and crashing cars once they're out of eyesight. And from our point on the hill, they're always crashing into each other, speeding down Sunset. Feels like nobody else is alive except us. It's a special time, 2 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. An entire little world devoted to keeping people, and all the people are gone, inside and asleep, dreaming about waking up for their day jobs. We're too poor to exist up here, but here we are, and we'll never be here again. It's pure chance we climbed up here. Tallest point we could find. Tallest point in the world, probably. Maybe heaven is a moment that never ends, and if it is, I choose right here, hand in hand with you. You know that song, Anything, by Dramarama? Yeah, put it on. Anything you want, $100 bills. What epic shit would you do to this if you were a worm? If I were a worm, I'd squirm. Anything. Will you go out to rehab with me? I'll race you there. And heaven is, on top of this hill, everything looks like a miniature. And all the passing cars look like you could flick them away. CIA black helicopters monitor our heads. You ever roll down the hills when you were a kid? Not really. My school was kind of on flat ground. You know what we did do though? At my middle school, there was a road that ran behind the building that had this slope to it. And it had this wraparound sidewalk loading dock thing. And when the road got like lower, the sidewalk stayed at the same height. So at the end of it, you had this 4-foot ledge, and we'd get running starts and we'd see who could jump the furthest off it. You had to make sure not to overdo it though, since you were landing on pavement. You don't want to mess up the landing. The moon's rising. It's June in LA and we're sitting on top of it. I can't remember the last time I hit the ground. I can. Oh yeah, LOL. I guess you wouldn't forget something like that. I want to jump off this hill. There's traffic at the bottom. Will you jump off this hill with me? As long as we don't land on our teeth. Well, here, you protect my teeth and I'll protect yours. We put our hands over each other's mouths and neither of us can talk now. Lick hand, bite hand. I want to be someone's best surprise. I want to go out with a raven clawing me open and being like, fuck yeah, this bitch is full of worms. I want to be someone's best surprise. Surprising that they're surprised you're full of worms? Yeah. Everyone was expecting me to be full of pubes and oat milk. Funny you say that. We have this big sports book in Michigan, and one of the hottest things to bet on right now is what you're made of. It's 2-to-1 odds that you're mostly oats and spiders. What do you think? I have reason to believe you may at least be partially worm. You know, that's when a girl is going to confess her feelings to you. Most of the time she just shows you. How does someone show someone else they're full of worms? I think the best way to do that is to move into that apartment together with the flowers on the windowsill And from there, we'll eat turkey sandwiches and have missionary sex and die at 72. I love missionary. I just lay down. It's great. I'm lazy. I love turkey sandwiches. Turkey's a dried bird and a dead one too. You're a dry dead bird. It's why my worm heart loves you. And heaven is all orange streetlights and worms after rain. The traffic dies down. It's completely still at the top of the hill. The air floats in place. Superjets bomb every major American highway. Let's take turns holding each other's hard-ons in our hands. The website lists your cock as medium length. Where is it? Where did it go? I am a girl. You are a hurl. Puking noises. Well, if I can't hold your cock, at least let me hold your hand. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. I'm nervous. I've never been good at being romantic. Your cock is really cold. No, I mean my cock. Fuck. I mean my hands. They're really cold, he said. I'm sorry. Give me your grubby little hands, you fucking gnome. It was a first date. It was an AA meeting, but they weren't alcoholics. And have you ever seen a real explosion in your life? Felt a shockwave, the ground shake beneath your feet? Something that physically rocks you. A sound so loud, a flash so bright, your bones rattle, your joints, you crumble. Most people haven't. If love could keep you alive, you'd live forever. I saw that written on a baby's headstone. And now you say, tell me a story, make it up, hold my hands. But what if they're sweaty? It's okay, I like your sweat. Don't worry, give me your clammy hands, and I want them, give me your sweat. I love it. Take my clammy hands and yours, and let's mix it together, and we'll have 4 sticky hands between us, and we'll cover the world in gunk, touching everything we find, books, dogs, babies, food we will not be buying. We will coat bus seats in sweat and watch people sit down and stick them. We will stick to walls, scale buildings. We will kill anyone who gets in our ways because we're mean little fuckers. Is that right? We are tough. Don't you forget that. When I was a kid, we would go to Cedar Point, and there was this merry-go-round that scared me when I had looked at it. It was right at the entrance, and it must have been really old. And like, I'm not scared of merry-go-rounds in general, but on top, like the roof part where they put all the decorations, they had this giant face of a woman on it. And it really scared me because it made me feel like there was somebody in there, you know? It made me feel scared and sad. Someone stuck out inside of merry-go-round. I don't know. Was that you? It's funny you mentioned that. Yes, that was me. I am everywhere. You should know that. Oh yeah, I thought so. Whatever, fucker. I'm going to scare you so bad one day, I'm going to make you pee yourself. Not if I pee myself first. You better watch your back, bucko. My worm heart loves you too, faggot bitch. There's no difference between anything you can't see and anything I can't see. And right now, on top of this hill, the only thing I can see is you, and that's the only thing I ever want to see. It's pure chance we climbed up this hill, tallest point in the entire world, without a doubt. Never before, never again, but right now, here we are, you and me, and we don't have to cry right now. You don't have to run out the front door, tears in your eyes. There's nothing you could do that would ever make me think less of you. And I'll find you curled up against the wall outside. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to be embarrassed about anything ever, because I'll always think the world of you. Fuck this place, fuck these people. Let's get out of this parking lot, out of this town. And we don't ever have to worry about saying goodnight because it's not time for bed. We don't have to worry about any of it because we're still here on the hill. And maybe they'll put our gravestones up here, but probably not. Hey, what's that thing they call soda over in Michigan? Doesn't it have a silly name? We call them candy bubblers, and it's not a silly name. That's what they taste like. Maybe heaven is a moment that never ends, and if it is, I choose right here, hand in hand with you. You ever notice how they always play Red, Red Wine on the radios out here? I feel like it's all I've ever been hearing since I got out here. Do they? I don't listen to the radio. Yeah, I'm Bob FM. Well, let's listen to it. Red, red wine goes to my head, makes me forget that I still need her so. Red, red wine, you make me feel so fine, you keep me rocking all the time. What a silly song. You know, in rehab, that's the one song alcoholics are allowed to listen to. Really? Is that true? Yeah. If they listen to anything else, someone comes by and kills them. Oh, I guess that makes sense. You know, if you think about it, that song has a really good message. Will you go to rehab with me? Yeah, it'll be like a big sleepover at high school. I could use some structure in my life. And heaven is just in my head.
John, John, that was fucking devastating. It was fucking devastating. There are 2 ways I could talk about this story, and I don't know which of the 2 to pick because I don't know whether to look at it as a piece of fiction, and as a piece of fiction, it's really beautiful and it's really wonderful, and it's got an incredible tension to it between humor and sadness. It's consistently funny and inventive, and just like very real and very surreal at the same time throughout, and filled with real depth and rich emotion, and totally capable of standing on its own as a short fiction piece. But I'm also aware of what day it is, what happened roughly a year ago, and what the story is probably on some level about, right? And while you were reading it, it was hard, it was hard not to think of Eris. And it was hard not to think of what the two of you shared, and of course, like what we all shared with her over the years that she was a part of this community. And yeah. But John, even setting that aside, and I think it as a tribute to her, I think it's an incredibly touching one. But even setting that aside, it's a really powerful work of short fiction that I think captures an experience that all of us have had on some level. Like, we've all had that night with another human being, whether it was romantic or whether it was like a friendship thing or whether it was in childhood or adolescence, where that feels surreal and magical, that feels eternal and detached from the rest of time and space in some way. And you capture that experience wonderfully here, because it's so anchored in completely unique and completely beautiful details that make it so, like, there's just so many sweet unexpected moments in this. And I'm rambling, but it's a really, really good piece, John. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. I feel like I can't take full credit because a lot of those sentences were, ones we wrote together. So I don't know, it's weird to just kind of, I don't know, but thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you. So, sorry, I'm a little, just give me a second here. Okay, so Rudy's up next.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to follow. Yeah, so this is more game poetry, more dumb shit, basically. Yeah, the link's right there. I don't know. I think I'm gonna call this game loop because that's what my life is, basically. Yeah, no, I apologize if I'm coughing. I had a fucking 10-hour day at work today, and it was really dumb and gay, like the way Kurt Cobain said it, and also the homophobic way. Okay, so this first one is called Shadow Bane. These, first of all, these are all games that I played at some point during my life. So Shadow Bane, from about 20 on, it's all wandering until you're gilded. A guild is a family that carries you through your 20s, gives you a place, not just a way to train, and whisks you through some desert from experience hole to experience hole until you aren't sure if you're playing anymore. And then when you're 50 or 60, hasn't happened yet, but eventually you'll get there. The Chinese come at 3 a.m. and raise your fucking city. This one is called Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. Civilization is all about building to destroy, as Dylan's saying. At least it was for me as a 13-year-old initially gravitating towards the university. My mom said I wouldn't make a very good scientist. Fuck period 3 and fuck earth science. I'm on a different planet after 2:30 p.m. After sitting through pastors' sermons on a Sunday, homework and Nicktoons looming, I'm on Chiron, on a religious fundamentalism kick. Me, a kid who never had a religious experience, felt stupid praying. While I grip a mouse, he's got it all on remote control, according to Ye and Ye. Me, sitting there wrapped while Sister Miriam goes off about sin and the word and data links. Mirror, with your clockwork dissection of politics, ethnographic by nature, prophetic by accident, 640 by 480, those thought-forming FMVs warming up my writable drive. Mirror, you infiltrated my youth like a high morale probe team. If I were trying to pin down the root of my early 20s politics of full fascism and hatred, if I were doing pin the tail on the donkey or elephant with some retroactive assessment, if I were a psychologist doing this blind, I'd look at my juvenile days of mind worms, unfulfilled hot seat fantasies, quotes from fictional neo-authoritarians, lack of empathy. Chairman says, "What do I care for your suffering?" Lack of romantic relationships. I could go on. I can't go on. Thinking back to 2005 when I vandalized the church I went to in youth, tore up youth posters, Bibles, smeared shit on the cross, stumbled out. I stammered something to the shrink in the psych ward about punishing religious people. He said I was delusional, used the word crusader. The Lord's Believers faction got a plus 25 bonus when attacking. Another shrink said I was an abnormal person who, quote, made overtures towards normalcy and wanted to seem normal, extremely online, appear offline. Evil lurks in the data links as it lurked in the streets of yesteryear. And Sister Miriam Godwinson said, Sister Miriam Godwinson, "Are you winning, son?" said God from everywhere. Godwin's law applied to almost every conversation I had in physical space in my 20s. In the 20s, some guy hot off a war was building political ideology from chip paint and some kind of chip on his shoulder. My chip was the Cyrix 686. It delivered processed images, war, and symbiosis, and made them / me move with a purpose. Move the planet busters to He Walked on Water. That Indian guy from the UN is getting mouthy again. And before I go on, I have to do something really quick. I will be right back.
Just, just anticipating. Okay, here we
All
go.
right. Sorry about that. So I forgot I hit post on the thing, but it didn't post, so I had to go. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh, I thought it was a bit. I thought you were pretending to play Diablo 4 on the other computer. Anyway, okay.
No, there actually is a Diablo 4 minutes, but sorry. Okay, so the next one is called Scorched Earth. In my town, there used to be a phase that became something else. Phases of phase. Drug problems are everywhere now. Fent and heroin replacing my mother's 99-cent lotion. And this little store is where Wendell Hickens spoke to me with the voices of Patton and Genghis Khan and Gaddafi saying shit about tanks. And thanks, Mom, for going ashy for one afternoon to buy me the best artillery game ever instead of that thick serum that soothes like philosophy and quotations spit from the barrels of war machines like flowers and National Guardsmen's rifles. Because like Daddy, I gave up one or more than 1 weekend a month to the green military haze, broken occasionally by shooting stars and starlight zones, and ordnance exploding bigger and bigger, death's heads, nukes, bugs dominating, like the one where you could make the skinny tank fly through the top of the screen and wrap it through the bottom of the screen, and it left the colors of every other tank in its wake, and shooting these little blocky pallet swatches was like shooting the other tanks weaponized pigment. I bet Volodymyr Zelensky would love a tank like that. I bet Volodymyr Zelensky would pay to have a quote in Scorched Earth 2023 edition. Ukraine will win. I bet Volodymyr Zelensky would buy 100 fuel and just drive the hell out of here. Just get the hell out of this. While me and up to 9 other buddies play with dirt clods forever, making them leap in air until a few Earth disruptors settle things. A pixelated dirt blanket with glowy irradiated threads. For us, sleepover. If the world had ended in 1991 with the dissolution of the Soviet Union, and I was torn apart by a surprise nuclear bombardment at my computer, I'd be torn, rip torn, and by dawn's early light. But I'd be happy as long as my mother was with me, the mother of all games. So this one is called StarCraft Brood War. Oh, excuse me. Actions per minute didn't get my 13-year-old dick hard enough, so I indulged in a different tedious form of macro calculus, that being the autismic soul burn of map editing, which is a hobby much less rewarding and much more consuming than even litmag editing, usually performed with an editor that's just as broken, spending hours working on a 256 by 256 magnum opus with custom voice work that wasn't exactly Mercer, and mercy me, the ecology, the niggling aesthetic doubt of tree placement, gas mine placement, crystal placement. Placement tests for math wasn't the result Daddy wanted. Guess I'm retarded. My words. My word, this 1.5 megabyte map takes millions to download over battle.net. 56K state of mind. 56K, but connected at 28.8 state of mind. Win modem trash. I'm trash. Wish I was Kerrigan so I could slash my wrist with my pointed Shelasere. Wish I was Kerrigan so I could be a cool looking monster girl. Wish I was Kerrigan engaged in a war with the big brains and winning. Losing patience with his stuck at 25% shit. My friend John's getting frustrated. Me eternally frustrated. My love of multiplayer strikes again. This next one is called Diablo 4 Season of the Malignant. The Butcher got bored crashing nightmare dungeons. So now he crashes abortion clinics exclusively, bursting through the walls while some teen mother trembles in the pale and occluded light of the waiting room, threatening her with meat hooks, brandishing his cleaver, machismo so thick you could cut it with a scalpel. Fuck with him. The abortion is already hard enough. Already a fraught, tough situation. Damn. Now she has something else to kill. This last one here is called Myth the Fallen Lords. When I talk to myself at work or on the street, it's like the cutscene monologue at the end of Myth, where the PTSD barbarian is speaking in his head, recounting a battle, and it breaks out onto lips, emergent, like intrusive thoughts they're known to be, each one a highly piercing flechette acted on by the gravity of mental illness's ghastly simulation. Each one is basically my unconscious mind saying, I just want to see what happens when I target the ground with a Molotov. And what happens is usually something resembling a gory explosion where parts of me are thrown everywhere. Maybe my blood gets on your frock. Mindfulness, a legendary weapon against the void of despondence, says to notice the thoughts, recognize the badness, then let it pass through, as if this is Dune or High Plains Drifter. But it's hard to say this is nothing when it's your mother's voice passing through you, or a gunman who looks eerily familiar passing through you on their way to a conjured scenario that ends with tantalizing righteous violence. And I know my head causes explosions on par with Bauer's huge blast radius. For example, when me and the Feelies threw down this morning, I wasn't walking on West Main. I was in the shower, considering punching ceramic. There are no weapons of any kind in my house. We had to fight with our bare hands. That's it.
Man, first of all, while it's still fresh in my mind, I love the end of that last poem. Oh my God. That just the last fucking 5 lines. There are no weapons of any kind in my house. We had to fight with our bare hands. Given the work, everything that comes before that, that's the perfect culmination of that poem. And as I've said the last couple of times, I really love this project. I think this is in some ways kind of like the perfect articulation of like what makes you interesting as an artist and as a poet and as a human being. And you've really done an incredible job of walking a very delicate tightrope in these poems, because on the one hand, yes, like you're using these poems about video games to basically offer a kind of like memoir and offer a kind of trip through your life and through your mental state and all of that. But at no point in time do any of these poems cease to be about the game that you're writing about. And that's so cool, because I can imagine a different version of this where the games are just a jumping off point, where it's like they provide like a quick introductory kind of metaphor, and then you're off into like into your mind, right? And then you're off into your past. But instead, each of these poems remains like carefully and delicately rooted in the game that you're writing about. So you never fully let the mask drop. And I think these are all great. But I think my favorite from this batch, except perhaps the last one, is the first one, Shadowbane, because every single line of that is both about the game and about your life. Like you could totally read that simply as being like, this is what it is to play Shadowbane. Like you get in a guild, they help you grind to level 20, and then from level 20, they basically hold your hand through the late game until you get to level 50 or 60, and then you can wreck shit. And then, oh, they shut the game down and the Chinese trolls come in and just burn everything down. But obviously, every single line also works on another level as being like about life and about the experience of living until 20, and then that great vast dead zone between 20 and turning 40 or 50, and also like even the looming like geopolitical situation where it's not unimaginable that if either you or I make it to 50, we may be contending with a world war that involves China or something comparable. And I just love how, as I said, every single fucking line in that is telling 2 stories at once, and that's gorgeous, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I just wanted to say the last one, the Myth the Fallen Lords one, the last 2 lines of it, basically just watch the end of Myth the Fallen Lords. So
okay,
this video really fucked me up, and I don't want to take too much time, but this video fucked me up as a kid, because it basically is like, so it shows like the camera panning across this battlefield, and there's this big barbarian dude sitting there, and the barbarian's like one of the units in the game. And it's like this generic barbarian dude sitting on like a rock, and he's talking, but like his lips aren't moving. And this is partly because of like the animation of the time. It's like, well, they just want to save money on animation. But then like for those last 2 lines, we had to fight with our bare hands. He actually talks. And it's like he's snapping into like this PTSD. It's like he's experiencing some kind of like episode. Basically, he's like, we had to fight with our bare hands, and so that's what that is a reference to.
Holy shit, man! If you could find that video and put it in the chat while we're going here, I want to see it, and probably some other people too, or even if you want to tweet it out.
Yeah, I actually tweeted it before. I said something like, "This video rocks your favorite ending" or whatever. But yeah, no, it's a really good ending. It's really good.
Rudy, I love these poems because for reasons that I typically like things. I mean, they obviously kind of transcended the subject matter. Like you took something that's very specific to you, and I know personally very little about, and made it into something accessible and everything William said. And I had a question for you,
Mhm.
and I know you put the poll up about what poems what games you were
Yeah.
gonna write about. Why is it Wolfenstein? Why isn't that one on the list? I want to hear a Rudy Wolfenstein.
I have played Wolfenstein, and I'm gonna try to basically make poems of all the games I've played ever. If I can.
Okay,
So,
cool.
but I didn't put Wolfenstein up because it's a popular first person shooter, and it would have probably tanked the poll in its favor. So
Good.
that's
Yeah. Well,
the
I
game.
was surprised. I wish there had been more missed support, but I'm glad that there was some missed reference.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thanks, Josh. That actually means a lot. Yeah,
Eventually, Rudy is going to write a poem about every game he's ever played. And
Pretty
that's where this is headed, and it's
Yeah.
glorious. Some actually asked what I was swinging around, and I think it was I wasn't doing it consciously, but I think it was a slinky. Anyway, thank you, Rudy. So Michael is up next.
Cool. Those poems are amazing, man. Please write a System Shock poem when you get a chance.
Oh, thanks, Mike. I actually haven't played System Shock. The first
You should.
I should play it. Yeah.
I just recently beat System Shock 2, which was very, very good. But I've heard nothing but weird, janky, wonderful things about the original. Cool. Let me grab this link, which I think should work. Cool. All right. This story is very new. It's called Bees. On moving day, Audrey knelt before her rust-crunched shitbox and attached the Bees license plate, the one that made the RMV lady laugh that Zach hated. She thought about the days ahead, the drift through central Massachusetts until their friend's house opened up. Then she decided not to feel bad about Zach not liking the plate. Audrey felt good as her skin vermilion beneath the heat-domed sun. For 2 years, Audrey and Zach lived in a former flop house by the river. They wrote marketing copy from home, and the money was good enough to buy food and weed and video games. It was a rut, but the rut felt good. Ruts felt good, easy, quiet. Audrey said nothing as her freelance contracts turned to salt. Zach said nothing after he called a client a bitch, and then each staggered morning afterward got high and sent unreadable pitches to local businesses. Spring arrived, and one of the numberless eastern slumlords spectered west and snapped the land beneath them, promised friendship, then tripled the rent. Audrey finished as Zach sagged outside with trash bags full of laundry under his arms. His flip-flops slapped against the cracked sidewalk. Do you have the keys? He asked. Audrey reached into her shorts pocket and clicked the unlock button on the fob. The shitbox bleated in reply. Over the next hour, they jammed their life inside. Here choked window fans, dusty consoles, bulging duffels, unwashed linens, old clothes too tight to wear, a mattress duct taped to the roof, a torn tarp drawn across. The couch and the flat screen remained upstairs in limp defiance of their loss. They camped out in a cheap hotel in Westminster, a luxury while they searched for work. Zach cursed the slack-dragged Wi-Fi as night began. I'll do deliveries, he said. He paced barefoot and slid some vended pretzels in his mouth. The car won't survive that for long, said Audrey, and I'm the better driver. I'll do it. It'll help me get better. I love you. I love you too. It's only temporary. You just need to watch the gas and oil. Once we get the room in Greenfield, we're good. It's only temporary. I love you. Zach fetched fast food snacks from Gardner and wandered Route 2's tragic oxidation in search of cash. Stole from orders, cursed their names, anxious, tipless. Then one job bequeathed a $20 tip. The guy said everyone deserves some hope, even losers. Not that you're a loser, stressed the guy. Back at the hotel, a family of 5 dragged luggage bags into Zach and Audrey's room, a mix-up. The family shared their supper, sopping chicken, sautéed styrofoam. Audrey unveiled a faded stem of wine. The locked door clicked at dawn. A couple, dressed too warm for summer, flashed their door cards and built a bed beneath the bathroom sink. Audrey scoured the internet, found a gig in Templeton. Some dude named Richard needed help with renovation, explains the ad. When Zach dropped her off, Richard was shredding couch cushions on the lawn. Said he was deconstructing his life. Richard paid Audrey $45 to collect every light bulb in the house and grind them with a cider block, $75 to send wooden doors through the chipper, $200 to pile every book, every letter, every piece of paper they could find, and light a fire. This feels good, said Richard. Firelight oiled his face. I could never do this. I never get rid of anything. Nothing? I get too attached to everything. Like it's an inseparable part of you. Yeah. I feel like I'm breaking up at the worst parts of myself. The parts I couldn't let go after he left. He? Yeah. I'm sorry. Me too. Audrey hosed some scattered flames as Richard filled an envelope with cash. That's everything, he said. Audrey felt the urge to hug him, but took the money, shook his hand, and wandered down the drive. She heard the shitbox wheeze from down the street, turned back while Zach approached as Richard knelt and kissed the charred remains. They spent a week in the motel, then a month in big box retail shadows, the stunted eaves of once great labor towns. Mildew stalked their clothes, their shoes, the mattress, and the roof. Then the room in Greenfield opened up. Their friend carved a basement corner for what possessions did survive. Warm sheets, home meals, drowsy romance bathed the rest they found. Audrey played guitar again. In the fall, a letter, read aloud as Zach and Audrey's slow-cooked dinners slept. A sale, new rules, a month or two, and then the time to go.
Man, that was fucking heartbreaking. That was fucking heartbreaking, man. I love this piece. You've heard me talk enough, Michael, to know that I am an absolute sucker for works of road trip fiction, that I love road trip fiction. And this is so good because often, like, often work that's about traveling is in some way, like, even if there's the pretense that it's melancholic, it's often fundamentally a positive experience that's getting explored, right? Or at least a romantic one. And you've rendered, I think, one of the most bleak and despairing pieces of road trip fiction that I have ever read. And I love that. I love that. Like, you do so much here, just very delicately, to establish this wonderfully morose and, like, ultimately sort of hopeless atmosphere throughout this piece. And every small detail, the way you describe the road, the way you describe the hotel rooms, the way you describe the car itself, like, it's on some level the opposite of the kind of, like, road trip romanticism that you would expect from a piece like this. You're so, like, interested in the rust and the grime and the decay and the entropy of it all. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And and yet the title is Bees. It's the throwaway Arrested Development gag, and the contrast between the title and the story. Oh man, it's so fucking good, man. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a this was inspired because there's a car that I haven't seen in a while, but like it was around town. But like this was the license plate. It was just Bees, and I was like, I have to do something with this license plate. And eventually, it found its way into something.
No, sorry. Now I'm thinking about Arrested Development. I'm sorry, but
No.
it's so good. It's so good. Thanks, man.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And Derek is up next.
William, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you loud and clear, man. And
All
I
right,
can
thank you.
almost see you too.
You can't see me.
No, I can see you. I can mostly see. I was just joking about your lighting situation, which I'm anyway.
With the jokes, nonstop with the jokes. Michael, that was great. Thanks for letting me read tonight, guys. I'm gonna update you guys on the war. I know that you don't fucking pay attention. I don't know what any of y'all are. I don't know what y'all do. You're drug addicts. I mean, that's one thing. You can tell that just by looking at you. And so I'm gonna let you know that all this stuff is what's happened. We're gonna talk about June, and a lot happened in June. A war in Europe in June, a failed mutiny, a new Swans record, an underwater voyage, smoke everywhere, a war in Europe in June. Wednesday, June 7th. New York City was yellow today. Apocalyptic, dystopian smoke filled the lungs and made stunning end times landscape photography. Friday, June 9th. The leader of the opposition party is arrested again. It's Philadelphia's turn to taste the smoke. An evening in my skin led to the whole world. The Large Hadron Collider is making contact with parallel dimensions. Downtown here is empty. Saturday, June 9th. The chef has built himself a fearsome corporate empire of death and destruction. The Wall Street Journal reports the Wagner Group set up shop in Central African Republic and started selling their mercenaries, logistics, expertise. They began training militias and local militias for a price. Then they took over the gold mines. Wagner controls the gold. The Wagner Group is stripping Africa of its resources, destabilizing the region, and has the people singing the praises of Putin, according to the Wall Street Journal. Then Putin called them home after the Russian military failed to defeat Ukraine quickly. It happened quickly and then all at once, like anything else. Tuesday, June 20th. A submarine carrying billionaires down to see the Titanic wreckage is missing. It was controlled by a Bluetooth gaming controller, $39.99. A Pentagon accounting error finds an additional $6.2 billion available to fund Ukraine. Wednesday, June, it's not even real. Wednesday, June 21st, the president's son pled guilty to federal tax evasion. There is an estimated 35 hours left of air in the lost submarine touring the Titanic wreckage. We have made ourselves in our own image this century. This morning, I wake up to a bedside note. It happens rarely. 4 Post-it notes, actually. 4 Post-it notes filled with my careful markings. Yellow Post-it notes, to be exact. Blue ink. This is new. I couldn't tell what order they were meant to be in. I want to be popular and famous and left alone and wealthy, not from family dynasty, but from a large scam of some sort or a pointless invention. I want to be read. I want to be misquoted. I want to learn to really catch fish. I want to be noticed. I want to be whispered about. I want to be mistaken. I want to live on a remote island. I want to live in the middle of the city in a brownstone and to walk up in a fire escape. I want to take mushrooms and other drugs. I want to learn something new, do something new, feel something new. I want to be named. I want to sue a streaming service because of their scandalous documentary they released about me and my conquest. I want to travel by rail. I want to be welcomed in Europe with open arms. I want to be needed, loved, missed, admired, forgotten, adored, mishandled, shaped funny. I want to meet you in a well-lighted place with clearly marked exits. I want to get better at espresso puck prep. I want to have better clothes, better lighting, different interests. I want deeper, more meaningful relationships. I want to be afraid. I want to see LA at night. June 22nd, Tuesday. BlackRock and JP Morgan are teaming up to launch a reconstruction bank in Ukraine. Quote, the time to buy is when there's blood in the streets, end quote, Baron Rothschild, the Russian nesting doll of oceanic tourism, Durbin says. Through the porthole, the rich explorers view the wreckage of the Titanic, their fate sealed in the service of postmodernism. I pour a double macchiato and settle into my new hotel room somewhere, Texas. This war isn't going to right itself, I warn the walls. Tonight on the Telegram Nightly Transmission, Roland Oliphant reported on the recovery conference where he spoke with the Ukraine Minister of Foreign Affairs about, quote, this naughty question of Ukraine's possible membership with NATO, end quote. This counteroffensive is disappointing the West. In 2008, Ukraine was promised membership, but it never happened. Ukraine wants more this time. They want the official invitation to join. They want the process sped up decades. They are fighting and dying and suffering for it. The commentators tonight are twisting pretzel sticks to reframe the counteroffensive in the wake of its struggles, even occasionally slinking into the syntactic elements to mask their obvious disappointment. Everyone wants to know how the markets are going to respond. The private sector decides. Friday, June 23rd, Wagner is facing off against Russia. An insurgency awaits. Saturday, June 24th, Russia has ordered the arrest of Yevgeny Prigozhin. The wolves are out tonight. The howling is coming through the stereo. Putin is going to address his people in 22 minutes. A coup is underway in Russia. Prigozhin is leading his men to Moscow. The next 24 hours are critical for Putin's reign, for the war. The timing of the coup and the new Swans record is being investigated. I have asked my psilocybin mushroom dealer to get his ear to the ground, re the war. A deal has been reached. Prigozhin will turn his men around. A coup deferred, rather. I order a Manhattan during sunning hours and buy a carton of cigarettes. Belarus has stepped in. The president personally brokered the deal to turn Prigozhin around. Sunday, June 25th, neither Russia or Belarus intelligence agencies can confirm the whereabouts of Prigozhin at present. Everyone seems suddenly aware we are living through history once again. The sidewalks are glittering. The street signs are shimmering. The pulsating pulsates. Quote, military coups in Russia do not have a good track record of success, end quote. Roland Oliphant, senior foreign reporter, The Telegraph. Everyone is suddenly asking me how this happened. I have become an inadvertent authority on the war by means of fiction. Monday, June 26, a war too requires participation. Mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks such as pandemics and nuclear war. Statement signed by Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Bill Gates. Tuesday, June 27th, the Wagner Group has been disarmed. Prigozhin is still in hiding, whereabouts unknown. I'm dressed for New York. Prigozhin has arrived in Belarus as promised, the West reports. Putin has declared the coup a failed mutiny. Today, wreckage from the submarine has washed ashore. The smoke is over Chicago. European interest in African gold mines and other precious metals increased significantly over the weekend. The war beats on.
Derek, that was great. That was great. You know, this is a really interesting one because you've read a few pieces in this style over the course of the last few months, and this one is really interesting to me because this is the first one that I think coincides with a moment or with a couple of weeks when all of us were also watching the news in real time, right? Because this has very much the same rhythm and content as your previous pieces, where it's really this kind of series of these sort of literary recaps of the actual fucking news. But this is an instance where we were all watching the fucking news because like the news coming out of Russia during the coup was too fucking big to ignore. And obviously the submarine thing was a meme a minute sort of situation on Twitter. And so it's fascinating to see this presented with the same urgency as your previous pieces. And because so much of this work, I think, rests on the idea of all of the urgent shit that we ignore, like this constant drumbeat of news that we kind of become totally totally oblivious to because it's so ever present. And so it's really fascinating to now see one where suddenly, oh, the world is paying attention again, and yet the fundamental essence of it hasn't changed. I know it's really cool, but man, I need a better look at that microphone. Man.
This is my daughter's microphone. No, it's off now. Yeah, this is my daughter's little microphone that we fight over who gets to play with it, because all three, my daughter, myself, and my son, are all very attention motivated individuals, and so like the fight is always who gets to turn this on. And actually, ironically, because of an earlier story tonight, red wine is one of my go-tos on here. You know what I mean? Fast car brings the house down regularly. But anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, everything. This one you don't even have to write. I think that what is going to be most interesting about some of this, everything you said about like how now sort of everything happens and in quick succession, and you know, because of that, things fade from memory even quicker than they arrive. And things like the Titanic Bluetooth controller and stuff like that, like, it'll be a meme, sort of like, you know, the shipping container or something that we think of as this sort of digital image online plus caption of jokes event, because that is mostly what it is to all of us, right? Is that's the way we intake it, that's the way we process it emotionally, process it mentally, intellectually. And the war, all of the war is like this for 99% of, you know, the world. And yet the way that it affects the people actually fighting and dying on both sides is so tremendously like serious and heavy. And you know, we're still making World War II movies like today, you know what I mean? Like it's, we certainly take our own very seriously. But anyway, all right, I'm getting off on the thing I wanted to end with on that was this. Thank you. Thank you for letting me read and hearing and all that. The other thing though is a year from now, this is where I wanted to tie it up and I found it. Look back at this. What becomes true? What becomes true is however I put it here. Do you know what I mean? Because we're not going to go reconstruct the present tense to be like, that's what it was like when there was a coup against Russia. Like, it's wild, but it's how history is written that matters. And if we cede that to an army of AI bots, we're all fucked. Okay, bye. Thank you. I love you all.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Derek. No, but you're right. You're right. Like that we kind of do have a responsibility to continue writing history in real time and not to cede that responsibility, right? To not allow or the personal influence that all of us have in crafting the narrative of history, to not just hand that over to someone else or something else or to the cloud and just
yeah. And so when you lie, which happens all the time in narrative building for nonfiction, you lie with a damn, there's a purpose to it. You know what I mean? You get
Also, Derek, we're calling you back at the end to turn on your karaoke mic and sing Red, Red Wine. Amanda has requested it and pretty much everyone has agreed. So buckle up. Anyway, thank you, man. Thanks so much. And Adam is up next.
Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly.
Okay, I just have 3 poems I'm going to read. I call them poems, but they're pieces, I guess. This first one's called My Heart in Your Hands. Tom is a comedian, a tragedian, an actor, a petticoat hunter, a law boy, a drenched straight faggot, a hurler of ipsa dixit and calumny, try me birch bark for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Little Caesar, smoke and mirrors, and articulate kind of blue triangles. I plead clients guilty with the best of the coked out precinct crawlers who charge $49.99 for a DWI. My faith, but have you seen The Princess? I am the god of wine. You make fun of camouflage hats, huh? That's fine, to each their own. I could love you, to be honest. What's the difference between independent and mainstream literature? Gay baritone, some scotch tape and red hair dye. By the way, I'm explosive. I drink every night. It's poison. I hate it. YouTube Mallrat asked me out and I respectfully declined on account of my marriage to an amazing woman. I still dissociate during sex though. Lemon drop, queen, panache rendered null. The space between weed gummies and adult braces on the wrecked cougar who hunts bachelor parties. I'd fuck her doggedly at the rented cabin and shun breakfast, but come out for lunch rights. A pulse from the Pioneer speaker and your friend Blake beats the shit out of you and says, here's my parents' walk-in liquor closet. And your life is basically ruined from the jump cut. JB has me arrested in thought. He jumped, I jumped, though not yetly. So hangs a warning sign because I have kids and appreciate this and that, and I do give consideration and fear God. Righteous, isn't it? What a motherfucker this life airs in and fists autocorrect. John, I want to talk. Meet me at the brass rail. It's still chugging. Mixed brandy, John. I'll see you. USB fiber analytics, testosterone, flunky, war, de jour, smicks. Oh my God, Snoops from the cartoon candy parrot. It back to me, babe. The manager deposits a text, then lionizes a bevy of crypto chefs, ears and leaves. I saw a man one night eating the feet of another man. I have seen bodies, photographs, autopsies. I have listened to terrible sounds, terrible confessions. I have fought judges, smooth bureaucrats on a government chain gang. The law is a beautiful whore, and I thank the English tradition for protecting us all. So, idiom manifest, how are you? Good, and you? K. My wrist hurts. K. Move mandible, let up on the trigger, slide left, a chair over there, place yourself in it, and squint. There, K. When you understand that every woman is an ice cold liar and killer and that every man is a vicious, sex obsessed, psychopathic megalomaniac, you are on your way to increasing your wisdom. This one's called Class Ring. Per the invoice you sent, enclosed, please find my soul. Binge your special paradise, Pall Mall, Dancing Queen 44, then voices, ticket, caught, surrendered. Everything is fresh and perfect like new love. The way it feels, cat. Sweet tips, glazed bangs. Carly showed me her tits. And I was like, whoa, when is Jesse's bat mitzvah? So you need to hit pause. This is out of line and very human. I fucking love how fucking human you are right now. Facebook post of every angry ball mother of 3 to 4 who cheers on a friend, maybe Nina for leaving her man also publicly. Eye exam, new day, working on the house, agitated. I don't mean to raise the dead, but Nina was a killer and I loved her. Where are you, Nina? One of Tom's clients on Dateline. Well, to be told by the love of your life that she's going to leave you if you don't kill him. That's not really something you want to hear, right? Minnesota. Plants and the like. Some of the best people on earth have the last name you pick. It's a law of the universe. Give you sunshine of your love. Max went who, where, when, and why. Spectral oblivion, cataract, Eliscopol. I made that word up. Surmise from the wreckage and send the tincture to MIT Volkswagen professor who buys rounds and can't get off, LOL. Literally a police detective in the Dateline named Skylar Rocks. Holy shit. World turned upside down. Keith Morrison said she declined interviews because she's by the book. Holy shit, Skylar, I want to party with you. This is all an interpretation of the zeitgeist. You like that word, right, Ken? Ken, yes. I accept that everything is wrong. I accept that everything is right. This seemingly paradoxical disjunctive is dedicated to all the lushed out viewers at home in the rich parts of the city who believe that MSNBC is journalism. If you like what you just read, that's right. There are people like me writing for people like you. We share a class ring. We are hot, though separate cinnabons of despair. You'll always get a heart bubble from me at this hour, baby. I am a monster, and when I die, you'll remember this text. This last one's called The Shovel Glass. I am forever. Stepped on toes, whose nose, rose all day, MacBook plus one party bud, the weekend, snub nose, shush, you'll break my heart, I see it 5 miles from town, tree wind, break North Dakota, time trepidations, I'll let myself out in the Royal Max rug, been axe tested and insecure, I tried to text him to sleep over. I was out east, he ghosted me, and, well, okay. I have often lived in close physical proximity to old female winos who have fountains of love to give, but again, I am haunted by tireless duns. Moist moss, but what moss is not moist? Moss, Terringer, sleuth, mel, I'm a go at picking. It's this or that. Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag there. I'm hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. K, who K, Swiss, blow your little horn tequila. Yes, Ted, the band is done, but the night is young. You probably don't remember this, but you fingered me in the back of Adams Riviera. Brass band is flowering like the next door neighbor. Blam, code for shotgun blast. Hey, but for real, I can feel the bass, the bass, the bass. Simulacrum of Dante, ergo, Splunk. Deer flights and long sun-drenched memories. For flavor, add water and dead mice. A family secret. In this rented room, in this rented house, in this rented neighborhood, I am slowly going insane. Rafters and beams, there I said it. My French is weak, but my Voltaire is strong. A new carpet runner, another bill. I am being invoiced to death. The bagel shop employee attempted to murder me with smiles and everything, sawdust, belt neck, and I wish you the very best and kind regard, vanilla seedlings now grown, me. Kilgore is somewhere out in the yard with Hunter and Clara is crying and looking for him. It's 1918, and their mutual friend Reginald is eating oil paints in the barn, and Hustler magazine is decades distant. I'm grilling. I'm not. The grill is rusted and broken and sits as an artifact. I am poor. I have money, but I'm poor. You get me. Kids will have to go into debt for college. I'm sorry. I really am. It's 7:22 on a Sunday. I hate Sundays, but I love you. I have freckles in the sun. Why am I breathing? The French get the government they deserve. So do we. So does everyone. Life is like a box of cocksuckers, Salisbury, Rotunda, Pog, Obsession, Hyperbox, Shot, Clock, Jiff, Rot, and Not for Not, Smike, Shoot the Rapids, and Call Me Rand, Tower Bloke, who went. Then went Margot, avuncular systemic scheme. I am not the way, says Gene, but then turn on the jets. Are you sure this is set to 100? It feels like 99. I heard secondhand that my aunt was too afraid to trim her kids' nails when they were wee little, and so instead just bit them off at the ends. Little giggle phrase of the self-same slut from Siam. I say, beat it, mister, and she looks shacked. I was only kidding, an idiom, darling purple planter, electroshock was advertised, and by you don't, your honor, I object, etc. This house is haunted. Trees are falling all around it, but never on it. They know better. Advice? Sure. Read from the Psalms. Filler. I'm on a love kick. Brass tacks. Everything I do for you. Infinite stardust. Finite love. Time in a hamper. May the gods be with you. It's a party. Desire. I see you. It's candid. Boyer. I light a flame for the moth. I paint the sky. I dream of you. I am forever. That's it.
Holy shit, Adam. Holy shit. Oh my God. I am in awe of what you're doing with these poems. I'm in awe of the sheer number of voices bouncing off of each other from stanza to stanza to stanza, from section to section to section. And each of these voices like comes into its own before being swallowed up. It's very, I mean, this is a kind of an obvious and easy comparison, but it's very Wasteland-esque. It's very much that same kind of like modern chorus of voices that you get in Eliot's Wasteland. And I just, oh my God, there are so many wonderful individual moments here too. So many individual sections that are just so funny, followed like immediately by something absolutely tragic and devastating, followed by like something totally banal. And I love that, like, that it's the sheer number of fucking ping pong balls you have in the air at once in these poems is unbelievable to me. The sheer number of different emotional states you have kind of in suspended animation as you juggle. It's really, these are really fucking captivating. Now, these are from your new book, right?
Yeah, this was. Yep.
Is Jeff here? Jeff is here. Jeff, this
Jeff's here.
book is fucking gorgeous, Jeff. This book, Adam, I think it was, I don't know if you sent me the copy or Adam sent me a copy. Adam sent me a copy, and I am in awe of this book. First of all, just the quality of it, not to rag on any indie presses, because I know everyone is out here hustling and doing their best, but I don't think I've ever gotten a book from an indie press that is built like this. Like, the cover is actually really thick and durable. The page quality, like the paper quality, is unbelievably high, and it's just beautifully, beautifully constructed. It's a work of fucking art, man. So kudos to both you and Jeff on that.
And there's a penis on the cover. So
And,
everything
and there's
you
a
said-
dick on it. There's a dick on this dude's face. No, it's a beautiful book, Adam. It's a beautiful book, and you and Jeff should really be proud.
Where can I link to this book?
It must be for sale on the Pig Roast Publishing site, right?
Mhm.
Maybe
Is
Jeff
Yeah,
has
it
links.
is for pre-orders right now. I think that Jeff has decided to start selling it on the 22nd of this month, but it can be pre-ordered and $5 off right now. Like,
Excellent. Do you
I
have a
didn't
link?
spoil anything, did I? It's not a secret or anything.
no. We've been
Okay.
pouring it out online for weeks. Yeah, no, I don't know if I have a link, but it's like if you go to the
Oh,
Pig-
never mind. I think I got it on the Pig Roast one. I'm gonna
Okay.
just drop a link in the Twitter thing. Yeah, that was
Thank you for letting me
amazing.
read. Thank you very much for letting me read and for the kind words, William.
Yeah, no, thank you for reading. Thank you, man. Rudy, if you could also drop that link in the chat, just in case somebody who is
Yep.
And also, Adam will be appearing on the Self Exposure podcast in the near future.
Looking forward to it.
Sounds like.
a sure
I have a
sign of
cold- I
up
have a
and coming
cold right now.
literary celebrity, if anything. Sorry, Adam, what were you saying?
Oh no, I said I'm looking forward to it, but I have a cold if I sound underwhelming.
Oh, no, I just thought you were cyberbullying me like everybody else. That's okay.
Now you've given me an idea.
All right. So up next is let me find is Coleman.
Hey there,
Hey Coleman, how's it going?
pretty good. I'm gonna read a few poems. This first one is almost. Joy is not enough. Roping hydrangeas like firm white breasts. I regret ritual, the midnight walks, watching what mannequins wear to bed. I hate our glass house. We've stashed questions in a box with poison, neither alive nor dead. And this is Soy Boy Snowflake Self-Hatred. I don't know who to blame for all this caring. You say you're scared of whales dying and fundamentalist Christianity. As a child, I was scared of cryptids, quicksand, and nuclear weapons. Somehow I'm more and less scared of the dark now. I've always been worried about getting raped, which is weird because I like being sexually dominated. My relationship with fear is fuckboy-esque. I was afraid of an ex-girlfriend until she blackmailed me with dick pics, threatening to post on Facebook unless I bought her Louboutins. We made up years ago. Now I'm scared of dying without enemies because that's proof of not really living your life. I open my computer, the world screams, and it's impossible to close my eyes, say whatever. I wish I hated everyone, but I'm scared we won't survive much longer. As a weakling, I'm afraid of necessary pain. I worry about disappointing my dad. I don't know who I should kill to wake up. This one is ideation. They should invent true happiness. You feel nothing perched on the cliffs of Moher beside the beige tourist. They should make a way to jump without dying so you can feel air through your fur. They should put that feeling in a syringe, that you feel like falling for real, so they should invent God or some massive net. You feel yourself step forward. They should let you do it, but no one wants to ruin the moment. There are kids here. You're sorry for their open eyes. This one's camping. Coyotes echo my inner dialogue. Maybe one killed a baby rabbit and doesn't want to share. No matter how much I love you, this tent is too small for two bodies. We smell like gasoline. We got horny, messed around, now there's nowhere to wipe ourselves. Your romantic misconception of Tennessee wilderness has fueled mosquito flight, my blood circulating through nature's trickle-down economy. The truth is I'd eat human feces if it meant sucking your face hole. So I swallow itchiness and pretend I'm the first ever mammal without skin, fur, or flesh. I'm covered in dad yelling, pussy. All right, this is sleepover. I propose a dick measuring contest. The loser must strip completely naked and run once around the block. Mark grips his tighty-whitey waistband like an elastic noose. What are you, gay, Mark, I ask? Everyone laughs, I almost feel sad. He shuts his eyes, drops pants, and it's the biggest penis I've ever seen except for pornography. Your turn, asshole, Mark says, seething. The foggy twilight fools my erection like a snake on some moss-slick boulder. Thanks a lot, y'all.
Coleman, you couldn't see the chat because you were reading, but the chat is going absolutely fucking wild over these. These are fucking phenomenal, man. Obviously, I've loved pretty much everything you've ever read, but these are so fucking good. This batch is peak performance even by your standards. And I have to say, during the nature's trickle-down economy section of that poem, I said, oh my God, out loud. And then I put like 6 exclamation points in the chat because from the beginning of that section to the end, it's just so like astute and beautiful and perfectly written. I love the way it starts with like the misconceptions about the wilderness, right? The naive, the way that like naivete and our romantic notions are just fuel like the mosquito infestation. It's I can't put it as eloquently as you did, but it's really fucking good, man. And every one of these was really fucking good. He was just in one brilliant fucking line after another. And it's just really good shit. Just read the chat. Read the chat. Gigi is saying he's not going to write anymore because he can't compete. Anyway, thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks so much, y'all. That really means a lot to me. I admire a lot of you, so thank you. Means a lot. Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for reading, Coleman. And Unity is closing out the night tonight. Well, Derek is going to close out the night with his performance of Red Red Wine, but Unity is the last reading of the night. I'm going to bully Derek into doing this. I've never successfully bullied someone into doing anything in my life, but we'll see.
Cyberbully. That's not true. You made me buy a Nintendo Switch.
That's true. That was persuasion, not
That
bullying.
was bullshit. Cyberbully.
Anyway, Unity, the floor is yours.
Man, I don't know how I'm going to follow that. Those are really beautiful, Coleman. You've outdone yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That means a lot to me for sure. Thanks a lot.
That's actually not the compliment you think it is, because actually I think you're consistently capable of doing
Josh, shut up.
Josh,
done
it's my
yourself.
turn. It's my turn. Okay. So I received a criticism from Zach Smith that my Zach Smith blog posts are no longer achieving the whimsical Zach Smith quality that they once were. And they're starting to branch off into some other territory. So what I've been planning on doing is launching a separate new blog. And hopefully that will appease the beast that is Zach Smith. And okay, so this is what I have planned for the first post. Tiger King. There's a new twink cashier at Price Chopper. Add him to the Rolodex. I've got mental files on every hot cashier, stock boy, fry cook, and sandwich artist in 3 counties. The Walmart twinks are decent for my purposes. They tend to be small, methy, and borderline retarded. For a while, there was a blonde cashier with huge glasses. Comically large, I mean. The kind that make the eyes look too big for the face. I chatted with him a bit. He was real dumb. Like special ed, but probably got C's and D's in all his classes back in high school. He asked me if I was in college, and I said, yeah, I'm 34. And his eyes got even bigger and wider under the glasses. Like he thought being a college boy was the sexiest, most exotic thing ever. The problem with Walmart is no twink works there for more than a month. I assume the disgusting slob managers molest and harass them until they quit, or fire them when they don't respond to their advances. I remember talking to this one dude on Grindr 4 or 5 years ago. He worked at Family Dollar and said his manager, who was married to a woman, would grab his dick and ass and try to kiss him every time he went to work. But he didn't want to quit because he'd just gotten promoted to supervisor and had gotten a raise, which he needed because he was saving to go to Disney. I assume it's like that with Walmart too. The blonde vanished just weeks after I talked to him. Who knows where he works now? Probably some gas station. Another one who vanished was the Mexican stock boy at Walgreens. He always made a point to come talk to me when I was picking up my prescription or buying shaving supplies. The first time I talked to him, I complimented his lanyard, which had Goku on it. Thanks, he said. I love Dragon Ball. He had plugs in his ears, the kind that look like they're made of corks, and he put a lot of effort into styling his hair. It was bleached to a kind of orange color and slicked back with gel. I started carrying a bottle of Dakar Noir in my glove compartment and spraying it on in the Walgreens parking lot before going in. Once, I saw him ask his manager if he could take his 15, And then when I was leaving the store, saw him vaping and drinking Dunkin' Donuts iced coffees outside with a girl who must have been his girlfriend. She was petite and alternative, with pink streaks in her hair like Avril Lavigne. Part of me was jealous, but another part thought it was even hotter that he wanted to flirt with me as a distraction from her. Hey, everyone needs a break sometimes. I haven't seen him in a few months. I'm guessing they moved. He told me he had family in Fort Lauderdale, so that's probably where they went. A Starbucks opened up near me, but I never go in because there's a bug chaser who works there. He used to message. Sorry. He used to message me on Grindr all the time. That's how I know he's a bug chaser. He was kind of cute back then. I haven't had Grindr in years, but now he's 23 or 24, I'm guessing, and has undergone an early twink death. One of the worst I've ever seen. He looks like that weird Nazi pope they had back in the aughts. I may have dirty thoughts, but bug chasing genuinely disgusts me. I would never touch anyone who hates themselves that much. One thing I've learned is that people's energy sloughs off on you when you fuck them. You get part of them, part of their spirit, their essence. I really believe that. And I don't want that kind of gnarly juju rubbing off on me. I've got enough problems as it is. But also, it's not like I'm having sex with any of these people anyway. I just like to talk to them. I haven't had sex in 4 years, 2 months, and 22 days. The same amount of time since I last did meth. I have no interest in hooking up anymore. It's over. I just have a lot of lustful thoughts. I don't think those are going anywhere. The Price Chopper twink must be straight. He wears a chain and looks Asian, though I'm guessing he's Mexican or something. He gives off trailer park vibes. He reminds me of the guys I used to lust after in high school, all of whom were perfectly indifferent to me, just like this one, which is hot. I don't know why I'm attracted to these types. I'm reading Atlas Shrugged, and there's a whole section about how the type of person you're attracted to is a reflection of the type of person you are, of how you see yourself. Rand, tell me what a man finds sexually attractive, and I will tell you his entire philosophy of life. Show me the woman he sleeps with, and I will tell you his valuation of himself. If this is true, I must really hate myself. At least on some level, which is crazy because on another level, I actually love myself. I really do. And I've accomplished so much in terms of healing from addiction and mental illness. I've had maybe 3 drinks of alcohol in the past 4 years, 3 cigarettes, 2 hits of weed, and that's it. 3 cigarettes. Yes, I remember each one. A Nat Sherman with my coffee at Forrest and Jackie's house in Bearsville. An American Spirit in the alley behind Groundhouse. A Marb 27 outside KGB last month with Amy. Each one magical in its own way. Made so much the better for being unique and special experiences. Smoked for the pleasure and joy of smoking rather than compulsion. Cruel habit. God, I love cigarettes. But I digress. For Rand, the ideal lover is a sort of business adversary. Someone who is so committed to his own self-interest that he will use you for his pleasure, just as you use him. The ego-driven megalomaniac in me would love to have someone like this. Would love to be the kind of person who sees love as a battle of wits and wills. One where base lust and fiery competition fuse in the kind of passion that creates empires. I want to be with someone who improves me, who forces me to be the best version of me, who pushes me to make something of my life, get out of my parents' basement and be someone, goddammit. And all of this can be true. I can want all these things. The love, the passion, the glory. While somewhere else, deeper down, I just want to kidnap that Price Chopper twink and keep him in a single wide. Force him to smoke meth until he turns gay and marries me, like the Tiger King.
Give me a minute. Oh my God. Unity, that was fucking fantastic. I love the flow of this piece because I was dying of laughter through the first 2/3 of it. But then you get really intimate and really honest in a wonderful way that doesn't break the tone of the piece, but actually evolves the tone of the piece. I love the paragraph where you remember each of the 3 cigarettes you've had over the course of the last few years. That's beautiful, touching shit. And everything before the like really cutting and incisive caricature of each of these different like individuals that you've met. It's so good because at no point does it tip over the top. It's exactly as exaggerated as it has to be funny, and never beyond that point. It always feels real. It always feels grounded in actual experience, but it is so fucking funny. And that that last fucking paragraph killed me. I was wondering how you were going to get to the Tiger King thing, and then I forgot about it, and then you dropped it on me at the end. Anyway, it's so good, Unity.
Thanks. Thank you for that feedback. I guess I feel heartened to go ahead with the launch of the blog, which will hopefully be next week.
Do it. What do you say, chat? I think the chat's going to say do it.
Do it.
Do it.
I think this will be I'll have my Zach Smith vlog and my Delicious Tacos blog.
Just how many voices you can absorb into yourself. Just what we won't need them anymore. You won't need Zach, won't need Delicious Tacos. You just make all of them obsolete one by one. Anyway, man, that was awesome. And Derek, are you ready? Are you ready? Does everyone have their lighters ready?
I'm not singing. That's not happening.
Sing.
I can't. I didn't even have the rights to the mic anymore.
They took the mic?
Dude.
They came and they took the mic from you, or do you give the mic up?
You just got to give it up. Yeah, you just got to give it up, or else it'll be a thing where I have other things in here that we don't all need to walk in on. You know what I mean? And so if you borrow something from, the children, you return it so that they don't come barging in.
What? Well, to quote Jamie Foxx from Jarhead, better use your lips then. You better play with your mouth. Do it.
Derek, somebody's got to do something, because I'm not going to be able to keep my mic unmuted for long. I'm fucking, I'm dying here. All right. Okay. Derek, just know you've left 23 people disappointed. You've broken 23 hearts tonight, Derek, not counting whoever's watching on YouTube.
Not mine. Derek and I actually sing to each other when we Zoom every week.
Oh, well, wait a fucking second. Well, here we go. Then we need a duet. I can understand Derek doesn't have the confidence to do it alone, but with Josh has the confidence to do anything. So the two of you, Red Wine, right now, sing us out.
We don't have
I'm
to
only giving you one take. Red wine. Red wine. Now, but that's the only part I know. Oh, see, I knew this was going to happen. There's going to be all kinds of lights out on Zoom.
Everyone put your fucking lighters up. All right. Okay. Thank you, Derek. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, man. All right. That's it, guys. We're calling it there. We're not getting any better than that tonight. So of course I'm going to keep the Zoom meeting open indefinitely so people can hang out. But that's it for the reading. This has been Misery Loves Company. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, anyone is welcome to join us. If you have a piece you'd like to read, anyone is welcome to come and just hang out in the chat. Just don't troll us. We had no trolls tonight. That's shocking. But anyway, this has been really wonderful. Thank you to everyone who's read. This has been one of those really precious fucking nights where it's been nothing but bangers beginning to end. Anyway, if you would like to join us in the future, we tweet out the link from our Twitter account @Misery Tourism. We start every Friday around 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific. All right, that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been fantastic.